And so I've now just hit the go live button. There we go. So now I'm officially live and I have to start all over again. It's not going to be a normal day unless I have a technical difficulty. But anyway, what I was saying to myself earlier was that I'm excited for today's demo because I'm doing a breakfast for dinner, which is my favorite. And except for that little technical glitch where I thought I was live and I wasn't live, everything is working great in my new software. So that's it. We're going to get started. We're doing a breakfast for dinner. If you saw my post on social media, I was so excited. I just straight out said what I was making, and I am making tofu benedict. So one of my favorite breakfast foods before, if we wanted to be fancy, and we usually made it at Christmas, was eggs benedict with chicken eggs. I don't eat animals anymore, so we're doing it with tofu. So to get started, obviously you need the traditional things. You're going to need some English muffins toasted and some veggies if you like. I like to put veggies on mine, so you're going to have some toppings. You can get that ready yourself. And then the two major things is our protein, which is going to be our tofu instead of eggs, and a sauce. So I have a delicious sauce recipe queued up for you folks. But first we have to make the eggs. So we are going to use extra firm tofu, which is usually what you want to use for everything. And basically, I cut it into a square shape, similar to the size of the English muffins that I have. And then I cut them into thinner slices. But I'm going to be even more sort of nitpicky, I guess. And I'm actually going to break off the corners to make a more round shape. So you just want to break off just a little bit of the corners. If you really wanted to be fancy, you could make it into an actual circle, but I don't. I want to be particular, but I'm too lazy to be that particular. So you're gonna make it into some sort of round shape, and you can eat little pieces of tofu. So I'm going to toggle down. So we have our pieces here, and I'm going to break off the corners of this one. And then I'm not going to eat all these in front of you, but I will get rid of them. So now we have our two pieces that are going to be our eggs. So what we want to get a real nice flavor and a look is we're going to add some seasonings, and we're even going to give it a bit of color. So one of the things that you can get is black sea salt. And I'm going to say this wrong. It's Kalanamak, it's called. So I got this huge bottle on Amazon a long time ago, and I'm only half done. So it's a very good deal. It's about $10. And this black sort of sulfuric salt gives food an eggy taste, and it is wild the way that it tastes. So we're going to do that. And then to give it a bit of color, we're going to use our turmeric. So that'll give it a nice yellowy color. Oh, I can smell that salt already. And then I'm also going to give a pinch of garlic powder. It's a bit dark on that camera angle, so we're going to do a bit of garlic just for some extra flavor. And then also, of course, we have our nutritional yeast that's going to go on. So let's just do a pinch of that as well. Whoops, crumble that in. And then your tofu is probably going to be a bit moist, so you can actually just rub this on a little bit and it'll get the color going. As I'm rubbing my plate right off the stove here. And then we're going to go do the same thing on the other side. Maybe clean your hand off a bit. So we've got our black salt. And we're going to pan fry this, so I'm actually going to get that started. So then we got our black salt. We want to do a bit of our turmeric. Just a little bit. So let's get rid of that. Make some room for us here. Then our garlic powder, just a pinch. And this is not as important because you are going to cover up the flavor with your sauce, but you want to at least have the traditional flavors underneath there as well. And you can use this. I sometimes make these and then put it kind of in like a breakfast sandwich instead of like an eggs benedict, but this is really great. So now we have our egg. We're gonna need that. So we've got our little yellow egg patties. And then I have a fry pan here. I've just put a couple of spritzes of oil. You do probably want to have oil for this part. So we're gonna let that heat up a little bit. And then we're gonna get into our sauce, and the sauce is the best part. Like, I think last time I made this, I put the sauce on everything after we made the Benedict. So it's a really amazing sauce recipe to keep around. And you can just make more. You can make it on a breakfast sandwich. I think I put it on some pasta. Like, I put it on everything. It's so good. And then you could also use it as a traditional sauce. I think some people would serve it on asparagus even. So it's a traditional sauce. And now I'm losing, it's a hollandaise sauce, not a béarnaise sauce. So hollandaise sauce is traditional, and you can use that on several different recipes. So it's pretty good. So let's go back and check on this pan. So I think we're doing pretty good. Hopefully this isn't too loud for us. So we're just gonna let that sizzle away while we make the other stuff. So for the sauce recipe, you will need some cashews, or like I said in some of my other videos, you can use hemp seeds or sunflower seeds. So you want half a cup. And what I did with the half a cup of cashews to make them soft so that they'll work in my blender is I soaked them 2 times in boiling water. Or you can boil them. In a pinch, I put them in water and microwave them. Whatever you have to do to make them soft, because we're just going to use a bullet blender, not a heavy duty blender, and we want to make sure they're soft enough to blend down. And you want to be able to blend it so there's no chunks of cashew in the sauce, so we might have to blend it for quite a while. So that's the main ingredient there. I'm just turning my fry pan down a little bit now that it's super hot. You can probably see that sizzling away here. So we're basically just warming that through and browning it. So back to the sauce, we have cashews, and we're gonna need some liquid. So we've got lemon juice and apple cider vinegar. And then we have some nutritional yeast, obviously, and salt and pepper and things like that. So and turmeric, actually. I got to get my turmeric back. We need turmeric in there too to make it yellow for the hollandaise sauce. And then when we heat it up to thicken it, we're going to also use some vegan butter. If you have the Basil margarine, you get the flavor. But if you have any other kind of fancier butters, that would be awesome too. And actually, I think it's the Miyoko's butter has like an herbed butter, as well as an Ontario brand called Nuts for Cheese. And if you use the herbed butter in it, that would be even better. So let's make this sauce together. And we're going to use a bullet blender. So I just have my bullet blender plugged in. I hope you guys can see that from over there. It's a little bit far. And then we're going to add our cashews. So we're going to add our cashews in there. And I can smell the eggy salt on that so well. Actually, let's give it a check here. Let's see. Oh yeah, we're getting a brown. I'm just gonna flip it because it is getting brown. So we just basically want that to heat through and brown. You don't have to like super fry it or cook it. So back to our sauce. So we've got our cashews in here, and we're gonna be doing, I need a measuring spoon. We're gonna be doing a bunch of stuff. So let's do the dry food. We need 2 teaspoons only of nutritional yeast, but you know me and nutritional yeast, I'm gonna put way more. So I'll probably put almost a tablespoon in, just under a tablespoon because it did say teaspoon, but we're gonna do that. All right. And then we also need our lemon juice. So we've got our lemon juice here, 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. If you have fresh, obviously that is much better. Let's see if I don't squirt this. So only 1 tablespoon of this. And then we also have 1 tablespoon of the apple cider vinegar. There it goes. So that's giving it a nice, bright, sharp flavor. And then we have our little bit of turmeric. So I'm just going to eyeball the turmeric. If you're not a fan of the flavor, just go light. We're just looking for a bit of color, but I like turmeric, and turmeric is amazingly healthy for you. Turmeric is one of the most anti-inflammatory foods that you can eat, and it is so good for you. If you can get it fresh in the tubers and you can grate it, it's even better. And one thing to note when you are eating turmeric, it's really good to put black pepper with it because apparently it helps your body absorb it more. So let's do a couple of shakes of that. Good enough. Yeah, we've got enough in there. And we'll do some salt and pepper. And that's it. It's pretty simple sauce. Like the ingredients aren't too fancy except for the black salt, but it's pretty good. So we're going to do that, and you might need some water once you start blending it, but we'll see how everything goes. And I hope the sizzling tofu here isn't too loud, but this is going to be loud enough. Okay, let's give it a go. So let's check on it here. So we're a little bit thick going on in there. So I am going to add, let's do 1 tablespoon of water. Good thing my sink is so close. So let's try 1 tablespoon. Actually, let's try 2 because we are going to cook this and thicken it up. So I've just added 2 tablespoons of water, and we're going to blend it some more. You can kind of shake it around and get it off the bottom. There we go. All right, time to check it again. Yeah, look at that. Let's try this camera. So this is the consistency you're looking for, and you don't see, it's pretty thick. So the 2 tablespoons of water was a pretty good call. And there's no chunks of the cashew left, and that's exactly what you want. And then what we're gonna do is cook this down and thicken it up and heat it up, and we're gonna put everything together and then stuff it in our faces. So let's go check the tofu eggs. We will put this back over here. Keep it clean, keep it tidy. Let's check the back sides of these. Oh, so we got lots of browning going on here. So we do have some nice dark browning, but again, you're just wanting to heat that through so it's nice and warm. So I'm actually going to take that off because it is heated through. And then we're going to use that burner for our sauce. So I'm going to put that down. Let's put this here for now so we're not on the heat. So now we're going to add some vegan butter to the thing. So the original recipe called for a couple of tablespoons, but I'm just going to put 1. That's enough. And the other thing with the original recipe was that it did call for a little bit of white wine. So if you have some dry white wine, you can put a tablespoon of that in. But I'm going to cut that out. I don't have any dry white wine on me. And then you would whisk everything in. So we're going to skip the wine. We're going to put the butter right in the pan and let it melt a little bit and then add our sauce. So we've got our butter melting in there already. I have it on medium heat. I had this on a little bit of a higher heat just to get it started. But we're done with that. And you are going to need a whisk to whisk all this together. So we've got our butter melting in there. You don't really need to wait until it's melted, but you want to make sure it's melted a little bit. And then we're going to get everything off the lid. just like that. So again, we have our awesome sauce. I really love this sauce last time I made it. I can't believe it's been a while since I've made it. So we're just dumping that all out. You want to make sure you scrape everything out and don't waste those cashews because they're dang expensive. And you want to eat all of this. So there we go. We have it all in there, and you can see the butter is melted everywhere, so we're going to whisk that together. So it is going to thicken up, not too much, because it's already thick. But you can leave it a little bit. You just don't want it, you just want to make sure it doesn't burn. That's why I only have it on medium. So we're just going to let that heat through. And then we're going to rearrange our stuff so we can make our eggs benedict. So I have my 2 English muffins, and I like to put veggies on mine. So I have some peppers here. I'm gonna break this guy in half. So I got some red pepper and tomatoes. So I'll make a little stack here, and I'm gonna put some onion. I'm gonna put a little bit of red onion on the top. So you can see this actually thickened up pretty good. Actually, it's way thicker than it was in the thing. And if you do want it to be a little bit more pourable, because you don't want to clump it on, you want to drizzle it on. So we're gonna add a little bit of water and loosen that up again. So if I had not left it as long, it wouldn't have gotten as thick. So that's probably another tablespoon of water, and you can see that it's loosening up, and I think we're pretty good. It's warm. The butter is all incorporated in, so we're done here. Let's turn that off, and we'll get our egg patties on there, which I think I'll just be really careful because it's hot. All right, let's see. So we have a pretty tall stack going on here, but that's fine. I love it. We'll put some onion. Yeah, the peppers are making us have a tall stack here. All right, so let's go. It is kind of, I should have added more water, but the flavor is there, believe me. Ah, love it. Okay, so now we have our ooey gooey, super tall, way too tall, eggs tofu benedict. Look at that. I need a better light source up in here. So good. I'll show you in this camera because I have better lighting up here. So we've got our delicious sauce. Again, you can let it get thick like this, or if you want to add more water to thin it out, you can, but either way. I haven't even done a real taste test yet. And it's so good. Oh. Okay, I'm gonna have to cut this, which I don't know if you guys want to see the cutting. Let's try this because it's so big. Oh my gosh. Okay, I got through one piece, but this is way too big. Usually you guys know I don't care about being messy, but that is way too big. So let's cut this again. All right, time for the taste test. Delicious looking. Where's my camera? See, actually the thick sauce is good because when I'm doing this, it's not dripping off my fork. Okay. Let's see. Mmm. 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 So good. Like I get all the flavor from the sauce, but I can actually taste like the garlic powder and the stuff that I put on the egg. I'm not getting too much of the black salt, just a little bit. So sometimes actually when you're cooking black salt, it might lower the taste of it. It'll lower the intensity of the taste. So what you can do if you really want that eggy flavor is once you take it off the heat, put a little bit more black salt on it. But I am getting a little whiff of it, and I'm definitely gonna have another bite. So you have to try this. You can use it again on asparagus or cooked veggies, maybe some Brussels sprouts, and you can use it on eggs Benedict. And you can make it ahead and save it. So if you want something like this for breakfast every day, you can make the tofu, eggy planks, whatever vegan term you want to use, and you can make the sauce, and then you can just heat them up, reheat them later, and have a quick eggs Benedict for breakfast. And usually the Benedict breakfast takes forever to prepare and cook, but this one you can make ahead. Another reason why cooking vegan food is awesome. You can make ahead your hollandaise sauce, which is usually impossible. Anyway, that's it. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for watching me eat. Thanks for dealing with my different camera angles. If you like this video, if you like my demos, please hit the like button. Share it with your friends. Keep the recipe. Ask me for the written recipe. I'll put it in the comments below sometime soon. And if you have time, again, I ask this every time, please try to watch another video when this one is done so that you can show YouTube that my channel is cool. That's it. That's all. Goodbye. Now it's time for me awkwardly shutting off the live stream. I love you guys. Bye.